Oh, you
It's
got it.
this that hasn't been more present in recent times. I think it's very present now, and I hope people are getting that understanding that um, we need to support each other, and support doesn't necessarily have to be monetary. Support could be, like I said, it could be a share button of somebody that has a business. Like you could just click share, and you don't realize how much that helps the independent business owner. The person that has a side hustle. It helps them tremendously. If I don't know how many friends I have on Facebook and how many I really know. Um, but if 100 people that I really know would click the share button every time I posted something, that would help me tremendously.
Yeah.
And it's something that doesn't even take thought. It's just like, oh, and I do it. Like I see people, I just instantly I click the share button.
And
You
I'm
know,
not good with
click.
that shit. It take a fraction of a second.
And it's fine. You don't have to do anything. It's set up that way. It's set up so you don't have to do anything. It's click the share button, hit enter, and that's all you got to do. It takes you 30 seconds to help a friend, right? Um, and that's what I think we need to do. And we can't look down on creatives until they make it,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, if one more person asked me if I'm still doing that photography thing, like
Yeah.
I'm a snap. Like it's a
Nah, no,
it's a real job. It's a real profession. It's a real path of life. I think I don't need validation from outside industry, for me to feel like I'm doing something that's real. It's almost like, as a minority, whatever you're doing, excuse me, as a side hustle, you have to be famous for people to respect it, right? And it's like we don't um, we don't do that to people who have regular 9 to 5s, right? The dude that works at Home Depot, you're like, yeah, you really don't sell hardware stuff though, because you're not the man. Like, we don't do that to each other. Like, but we do put down creatives because I think there are a lot of people who aren't taking it seriously and who just want the name. And I think we do live in an era where, hey, Arlette, we do live in an era where you can just say you're something, and you instantly become that. Like you can say you're something, create a social media for it, and instantly you're that. You buy a camera, you you take a few pictures, you make an Instagram, you're a photographer, right? You get a video camera, you make 2 videos, you put it on, you're a videographer. So I think, and then we live in an era where we can't question what people do either. So everything has to be politically correct, and everything has to be uh, kind of everything touched with kid gloves. And I think it's good and it's bad because I think a lot of people are out here fooling themselves, believing there's something they're not. And it's obvious to everybody else. And I think that's where they need the friends like me to come in and be like, hey, what you doing?
you gotta relax.
And or the friend that comes in is like, okay, if you're going to do this, then let's find the right way to do it, because you're looking silly to all these people. And I think, I think when COVID hit and we all had to sit in the house, I think the first thing I realized, like, man, I had time to do all these things and I didn't get them done. I was waiting to do this. I was waiting to do that. I should have did this. I should have did that. Um, so I think it helps show us that,
No time like the
you
present.
can't, yeah, it's no time like the present, and don't waste time just wasting time,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's just like, we have time, and one thing I found out during COVID is that we do have time for a lot of things. We just don't take the time to do it.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, we have time to exercise. We have time to eat right. We have time to meditate. We have time to do all these things. We just choose to tell ourselves that we don't. Another thing I found out during COVID is that a lot of things that I thought I didn't have time for is just I really didn't want to do them. Like, point blank, I was just honest with, like, you know what? I really don't want to do this. So let me stop fooling myself and saying, like, I just don't have time to do this. Like, I really just didn't want to, I didn't want to do it. And then there's other things that came out of this that, I'm like, oh man, like this really doesn't take that much time, but it's so much better for my life. So, um, yeah. You want to get into the last picture?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, cool. So let me flip this. All right. So this picture, I laugh because this picture almost didn't happen. Um, this is a picture of Bobby Shmurda right before he went to, well, a little while before he went to prison. This is him coming out of rehearsal for him to be on The Late Show, which this is at NBC Studios in New York City.
And the photographer is who?
Is I.
Yours truly, Mr.
Yes.
Light.
Yeah, so
That's dope.
so I was told that I was sent there by Vibe magazine. I was told that they were going to do some type of viral video at NBC Studios because he was going to be performing that night, which is huge for because rappers really don't get on late shows. So this was like a really big deal for him to be able to get on the Late Show because he had such a monstrous hit.